In science, there's a basic method that's employed again and again. We start with observing. We gather data, we observe, and then we analyze the data and model it in some way, hopefully, to summarize it with a small number of parameters, and then we interpret those results. Now, everything starts with the data, with the observations. And one of the things that comes up again and again with the mystics over the ages is that what we see through our eyes is not the true reality. In fact, under deep meditation, many of these mystics have discovered that the world is a much richer, stranger place than we can see through our eyes. In fact, they view the world that we live in as basically on a movie screen, and the true reality is where you're in the audience looking up at the screen. And if you do this, you see that there's much, much more to be observed than just what you see with your eyes. Now, science has probably gone too far in this direction by counting on things they see with their eyes, and there, in fact, have been suggestions of this. For example, we now realize through telescopes that the galaxies that we see out there that are in these spirals would fly apart unless they had much more matter in them, which, since we can't see it, we call it dark matter, but we can't see it, so it's incognita. And we also see that the galaxies are flying apart from one another, and that's due to what we would call dark energy that's expanding space itself. The galaxies aren't moving, but if the space in between them expands, then effectively the galaxies move apart from one another. And so this all suggests that there's, if we look at everything, we realize we've been dealing with 5% of the universe for what we call matter, what we observe, and 95% is unknown. But that's in 3 dimensions. So in 3 dimensions we see 5%, therefore in 20 dimensions, 1 over 0.05, 5%, we see 60 dimensions. There's many more dimensions out there. And that's the fallacy that comes up. That's where science breaks down. Well, we can realize this right now through deep meditation, but instruments can be developed now to achieve this, to measure these things.